Honourable Prayag.
Madam Speaker, I rise today to voice out my support for this landmark 2025-2026 national budget, a budget that is not only bold, but one that faces our country's deep systemic challenges head-on. This is not an easy budget. In fact, it is one of the toughest we have had in decades. It is a courageous budget. It is one that finally dares to confront the fiscal reality that has been swept under the rug by the previous regime for way too long. Let me begin with a hard truth. Moody's is watching. However, a few people on the streets, in the markets, in communities are giving their views on the budget without understanding the actual role of such international agencies. Moody's have clearly warned us. They are not speculating. If we don't act, Mauritius will face the grim prospect of becoming a junk-rated economy. And when that happens, it will mean goodbye to private sector confidence, goodbye to offshores, to investors, to development, to progress, goodbye to our diaspora who want to return and contribute, and most tragically, goodbye to the future of our children. Let me not be too harsh, Madam Speaker. I humbly request the media, including the social media, to educate the layperson, to explain about such international financial institutions, even in Bhojpuri. It is indeed sad to quote an elderly whom I met in the Rivière du Rempart market this Sunday. She innocently asked me, "Beta doctor, hay mudiwa kon her?" At that moment, I realized that I had to make a humble request to our national media to do a rapid, responsible, massive, patriotic campaign of pedagogic journalism. Before these vultures of the opposition use such an opportunity, that is by using the lack of knowledge of the layperson to create havoc and, as we say, demagogy. The previous administration has shown us what not to do. They have cast a blind eye to the real, immediate problems of Mauritius, be it water and electricity, healthcare, education, drug abuse, law and order, or social housing. They govern as though they were spending their own money, not taxpayers' money. It is not a secret that nearly 25% of our current expenses go towards the basic retirement pension, that is the BRP. Providing allowances without proper planning and a sustainable framework has failed us miserably. Mark my words, if the former Prime Minister has the audacity to say he will reduce the eligibility age of the BRP to 60 years again, then let me say with absolute clarity, it will fail again. He has fooled you once and he will fool you twice. Madam Speaker, let us not forget that this situation did not appear overnight. Since 2016, the former Minister of Finance, Padayachi, knew very well that the pension system was unsustainable. Ils ont refusé de publier le papier disant de faire augmenter l'âge de la pension. And now, we are left to clean up the wreckage of their political cowardice. As the Honourable Prime Minister rightly said in his address, the MSM government has, since 2015, systematically built a cobweb of corruption, malfeasance, nepotism, and cronyism to bleed this country of its most vital resources, all for personal gain. It is in this context that this budget must be understood, not as a punishment, but as a rescue mission. The pension reform is a patriotic act. As the Honourable Minister, Dr. Arvin Bulel, aptly pointed out, the MSM-led government fostered a state of engineered psychosis, dividing people at a time when unity is of paramount importance. Our elders must listen to the voice of the youth, and the youth must understand the sacrifices their elders have made. As a responsible government, we are giving the youth the chance to contribute meaningfully, to ensure that their parents and grandparents receive a dignified pension. This is the time to return the favor. Every wise Mauritian knows that if we do not act now, we will soon be unable to pay not just the pensions, but even basic salaries. Madam Speaker, let me be clear. The ratio of workers to pensioners is becoming unsustainable. We currently have over 280,000 BRP beneficiaries. According to the figures stated by the Honourable Minister of Social Integration, Ashok Subron, at present 69% of these are still working either in private or public sector. That means this system is not only under strain, it is being misused. Strict controls have to be implemented to monitor and regulate this issue. We need a new direction. And yes, harsh situations mandate harsh measures. But the difference is that we are not taking the easy way out. We are not raising the value-added tax. That would have been easier politically, but it would have hurt the most vulnerable. And this government does not believe in punishing the people for the mistakes of the past. Instead, we are choosing the responsible path, the sustainable one. Madam Speaker, allow me to draw a contrast. The MSM just before the elections treated our elders like depot fix. They handed out money hoping to cash in votes. That is not respect, that is exploitation. In this government, the Alliance du Changement, we respect our elders. We respect our youth. We are not campaigning. We are governing. And we are governing with compassion and foresight. This reform is gender sensitive. I commend both the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister for establishing these two committees. One to support housewives, retirees, and low-income workers, and another to address the needs of individuals with health-related disabilities. This reform is not about us. What would we gain personally from this hardship? Unlike those from the previous regime who have secured safe havens abroad, we in the Alliance du Changement want our children and grandchildren to live in a Mauritius that is stable, fair, and prosperous. Let me also say this to our youth. You are the future. On the 10th of November of 2024, you showed your wisdom. You chose real leadership. You chose long-term security over short-term gifts. You said no to 20,000 rupees checks for those aged 18. You chose to be builders, not beggars. As Dr. the Honorable Navin Chandra Ramgulam has said, we are here to teach you how to fish and not to give you a fish. I urge our youth not to forget what happened to your internet connection at the eve of last elections. This budget will bear fruits. In 3 years' time, in 5 years' time, I have no doubt citizens will be proud of this landmark decision. We are maintaining BRP payments, and 81% of workers will not pay taxes under this system. This is a balanced, progressive reform. Madam Speaker, yes, some will be angry, some will be confused, but history will judge us not by our popularity, but by our integrity. In my humble opinion, it is better to become unpopular at the beginning than to become unpopular at the end of our mandate. I am ready to face criticism today if it means I can look our children in the eye tomorrow and say we did the right thing. To those in the opposition, I listened to the Honourable Leader of the Opposition and I felt like hearing a ship lost at sea. Once again, Wakasho style, rudderless, directionless. We can imagine why he's still arguing for signatures in the State of Economy report, tabled in this August Assembly by our Prime Minister itself. I sense desperation. Let us not forget, we are not in an electoral campaign. Let me say, this is not a Shilajit type temporary fix. We don't want fake strength. We want sustainability. We are doing this to save Mauritius, not for our name, not for our seats in this August Assembly, but for our children, for their future. There are two types of politicians in this country. One who joins for money, fame, and power, and the other one who joins for leadership, patriotism, and legacy. We know where we stand. The Prime Minister's vision for this mandate is clear: a patriotic, socially conscious, economically sound, and future-ready Mauritius. Let us restore the balance between public finance and our elders' dignity. Let us act not with fear, but with resolve. Madam Speaker, it has been said that the BRP system time bomb has already exploded. Before the shrapnel wounds turn into gangrene, we must act. Let us face this uphill battle together. Let us prove that Mauritius can change course, not through slogans, but through substance. To end, I shall simply say, yes, we saw the fire and we didn't choose to sleep. We are the ones who chose to stop it. Long live the youth of Mauritius. Long live the Republic of Mauritius. Thank you.
Thank you.